Imagine a Hollywood superstar without scandals, ostentatious luxury, or hysterical PR. A man who rides the subway, gives motorcycles to stuntmen, refuses millions of dollars, and still remains virtually invisible in everyday life. Today, we'll talk about Keanu Reeves and the strangest and most little-known facts about his life. He doesn't sell his saintliness. It's as if he deliberately doesn't capitalize on his internet sanctity. The internet has made him almost a patron saint of normalcy. Sad Keanu. This man is a saint. He's the best man in the world. But he doesn't turn it into a brand. He doesn't make merch. He doesn't launch a positive foundation named after himself. He doesn't promote himself as the kindest. Keanu Reeves turned down a huge salary to keep the film's budget from being cut. On the set of The Devil's Advocate, Keanu agreed to take a significant pay cut so the studio could afford to hire Al Pacino. Similarly, on one of the Matrix films, he donated tens of millions of dollars to the special effects and stunt team. Keanu Reeves was expelled from school 3 times. He had dyslexia, which made reading and the standard school curriculum difficult for him. He changed schools several times and was expelled from at least 3. Due to disciplinary issues, confrontation, and difficulties with the rules and system. He later said that school was difficult and the theater was the only place where he felt normal. Keanu Reeves is afraid to touch women in photos. Online collections of photos of him hugging fans and colleagues have circulated, but holding his hand in the air without touching their bodies. This has become the respectful king meme, but behind it lies a very unusual rule by Hollywood standards. Keanu avoids any situations that could be interpreted ambiguously. He's never officially stated this as a rule, but his behavior has been consistent for years. Fear of a digital copy. He's seriously afraid of his digital copy. Keanu has repeatedly said that he dislikes the idea of digital de-aging and total CGI control over an actor. He said that his performance was once digitally altered without his approval, and since then, he's been extremely cautious about such things. He takes an almost philosophical approach to this. What if studios can film a digital Keanu without Keanu himself? He's still an ordinary person. Despite all his fame, Keanu remains a very ordinary person. There are countless random photos and stories of him eating a burger or sandwich alone on a bench, sitting in an ordinary diner, leafing through a book or script. This is how the sad Keanu meme was born, of him sitting on a bench with a sandwich. But in reality, it's simply his habit, periodically remaining inconspicuous and ordinary, even in a crowd. Fans and journalists have repeatedly caught him walking alone in New York, Los Angeles, and London, in ordinary clothes, without security or entourage. There are dozens of stories online about how I accidentally met Keanu and he paid for a person in line for coffee or food and simply left. Calmly engaged in conversation with a child or an elderly person. Waited for a fan to find a pen and paper instead of leaving, citing a rush. Some of these stories may be embellished, but their number and similarities create a lasting image. Enthusiasm. He still has an almost childlike attitude towards some things. In interviews, he's not shy about admitting that he can still be delighted by simple things, from motorcycles to comic books. He talks about stunts and action scenes with childlike delight, like a regular fan. And this is a strange contrast to his slow, calm manner in interviews. Hockey instead of Hollywood.
Keanu Reeves almost became a hockey star.
Few people know that in school he wasn't an actor, but a tough goalie. His nickname on the ice was The Wall. He was actually offered the chance to continue his career and become a professional hockey player in Canada. But Keanu abruptly changed everything and chose acting. Imagine, instead of Neo from The Matrix and John Wick, we could remember him as an NHL legend. And perhaps the strangest thing is that the more you learn about him, the more blank spots remain. Hundreds of articles have been written about him, videos have been made, there are books and a million stories. But there is no candid autobiography, almost no detailed descriptions of his daily life. He barely talks about the most personal things. And yet, he is loved as one of our own, a man about whom, in fact, surprisingly little is known compared to other stars. If you're interested in such stories about Keanu Reeves and other actors, give us a like, tell us in the comments who we should feature next, and subscribe to the channel.